Hey, this is Jordan Allen, London, Kentucky native and singer-songwriter, and you're listening to the Locally Branded Podcast, sponsored by Kemper Home Furnishings, where we explore the wins, losses, and everything in between of local people just like you.
With thanks for everybody for watching and listening to the Locally Branded Podcast. We have a very special person that's here with us today. And just like the rest of our podcast members, I don't want to take that limelight from introducing that person. I'll let her introduce herself. So go ahead.
Okay. Hey everybody, I'm Blakely Callahan. I'm Miss Kentucky's Teen 2025, and I'm also the official Teen of Impact nominee for 2025 for Kentucky for the American Heart Association.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, at 17.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk a little bit, first we're going to talk a little bit about leadership, right? Because a lot of what you do comes from leadership. Like it comes from having that leadership backbone of, I want to serve my community, right? And you have done at 17, have done so much. Like you have, again, I've got a little cheat sheet here and I don't care a bit to say it, but some of the things that that you had accomplished. But one of the things I first want to talk about, just real quick, is here recently you had a road sign put up, which I think is pretty cool. So I have an aunt, and I try to get personal with everything that I do to try to relate to stuff that's out of Perry County in Hazard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was a seamstress for years and worked at a local seamstress. And when she retired after 50 years, they give her a road sign. And at 50 years, she was so elated that she got this road sign.
Mm-hmm.
At 17, when you pull into Laurel County and you see this sign, how does that make you feel?
It's been pretty amazing. They let me know that it was going up about a month ago, and when you're driving in on 30 or when you're driving in from Pulaski County, it's just so incredible. My family, a lot of them, they're from Owsley County, so whenever I'm coming into London, or whenever they're coming into London, I get so many texts, and it's just really incredible. I feel really honored by my community and well loved.
Yeah, and as you should, you've served your community, you continue to serve the community, and that's a huge part that a lot of people don't get, even at my age. They don't fully understand what it really means to serve somebody else, right? And you're able to do that, it seems like effortlessly, at 17. So let's talk a little bit too. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to mention it here. Happy late birthday. Just had your 17th
Thank you.
birthday. I also seen that you're going to be attending the Harvard Summer School. Is that correct?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so just last week I found out that I'll spend 2 weeks at Harvard. I'll get to live in the dorms just like a real student at Harvard Law. I'm going to study under their professors. I'm incredibly excited. That's always been a dream of mine to go to Harvard for law school, and now I'll kind of get to see what that's going to be like.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Congratulations. And then, of course, with leadership too, the Miss Kentucky team, like that whole pageantry in itself. And again, I'm not in pageantry, so I don't know, right? So but leadership from that, like, how do you get yourself? And you don't have to answer this, but how do you get yourself prepared for those things? Like for these pageants, how do you get yourself like mentally? I'm going to do this. Like what's the day in day in for you when it comes to those?
For me, it's always just been where my heart is. Like, I truly do have a heart of service, and the Miss America organization, in my opinion, is one of the best ways for young ladies across America to serve people and to serve their communities and to get messages out there that I don't think we have a platform as good as that one across America, truly. So it's just always been something that I've really wanted to do, and I was so excited for that opportunity to come my way.
And with that, like, where does and I mentioned this a while ago, your leadership, where does it come from? Like, where did you get that drive? Where did it start at? Let's put it that way.
Okay. I truly believe that there's a couple different sources. Starting out with my parents, they're both incredibly hardworking and driven. They've always been, very focused on their careers, and I think that seeing that has really inspired me for my entire life. And then my other outlet is definitely the Miss America organization. I still remember in 2016 watching Betty Cantrell win her title as Miss America and just looking up to her so so much, and looking up to the girls who became my older sisters in pageantry and wanting to be like them and wanting to make the same impact that they did.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
It really is. And it's, from what I read and from what I looked up on everything, just like anybody else can, and I encourage you to go look up some of these pageants and the effort that it takes each one of you to go through everything that you do. It's not easy.
No, definitely
and leadership's not easy, right? I want to talk about something a little bit more, I guess, in depth. Well, first thing, you mentioned your parents. Let's talk, I want to talk about that, and I'm not going to not make this about you by no means, but I do want to personally mention your mother. She's behind the camera at the moment. I don't care a bit to mention it. I wanted to say this, and this is going to be kind of off topic from what we're talking about, but I did nominate you for Teacher of the Year, even though I know you're retired. So you have impacted so many kids, and I get where she gets it from, right? I see where she gets it from. So absolutely amazing. But anyway, having that support system. If you like, and it's hard to say if you didn't have it, right? If you didn't have that support system, where would you be? It's like no one really knows, but having that support system means what to you?
Really just having my family behind me. I mean, it's everything. Like I truly don't know if I could do all the things that I do without them. They're my backbone.
100%. It's having that support system, not just from the community, but from people that you know, you love.
Yes.
That's not so much groomed you growing up, but has supported you.
Yes, exactly.
You have a dream, you have a focus on something. To have someone in your corner that says, hey, you can do this. And even when it's hard, saying, hey, you can still do this, that makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so absolutely fantastic. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about the whole heart health, and this is going to hit home, and I'm going to try not to get emotional on some of this, and I'll explain why here in a minute, but let's talk a little bit about the American Heart Association and what you're doing with them.
Absolutely. So Teen of Impact is this incredible 9-week competition that I have had the opportunity and the honor to be involved with. My goal is to raise $25,000 by the end of April for the American Heart Association. It's the main cardiovascular, killer, heart disease. It takes 350,000 people will experience an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest every single year, and 9 out of 10 of them will pass away. And so really just raising those critical funds and awareness, it's so important. And the Miss America organization, we're very deeply rooted with Go Red for Women and the American Heart Association. And I've had the opportunity to firsthand see the impact that can have. And so as soon as I was eligible for Teen of Impact, I knew that it's something I definitely wanted to be in.
That's a huge organization. It's
Absolutely.
big, but it's a very important one. Heart health is, to me, it's one of the most underrated studies that gets done. I mean, there's so much important. You don't really understand how much leads to your heart.
Absolutely.
Like how much is connected to your heart. It's I've had spinal surgery. I've had all this other stuff. We were just mentioning that I have a blood clot disorder as well. All this links in that once it gets to your heart, it's done. So you have to keep your heart healthy. It's having a healthy heart is a huge part of a bunch of things people don't understand.
Absolutely.
All the way down to your teeth. Like your teeth are linked to your heart. You don't take care of your teeth, you'll have a poor, unhealthy heart. Like there's a lot of things that are connected within that this association really drives to get awareness out to. The fundraising for it, to make sure that there's more studies that's done for it. I say I try not to get emotional because about 8 or 9 years ago, I lost my father to a heart attack.
Really?
Yeah. And there's no way to describe what that means or what that does, right? It's especially whenever you have someone who is perfectly healthy and has no issues whatsoever, drop dead of a sudden death syndrome heart attack. Just heart explodes. But having a healthy heart, having the education of having a healthy heart probably would have given us signs prior to that happening. Right?
Absolutely.
And I really feel like that American Heart Association, I really think that they push for that.
Truly, that's what they're all about.
So the fact that you're a part of that in a big way means more than most people could ever understand.
Thank you.
So what's one thing you would really like to push? Like if you were looking back, let's say you look back from when did you start the pageants, by the way? Like what age did you start?
I was 15.
15, okay. So with your leadership, as far as that goes, when did that start? 15 as well, or way before?
I would say way before. I started wanting to make my mark when I was 5. I joined
go.
the
Yeah.
Miss America's Little Sisters program, and
Oh, that's
I
cool.
wanted
Yeah.
to be up on stage. And at 14, I started my own nonprofit, Callahan's Crowns for the Cure, and we're now directly tied in not only with Walk MS but also with the American Heart
Give a plug
Association.
to that real quick. Like, how can people, can they donate to that, I'm assuming, too?
Absolutely.
How do they do that?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. It all goes directly to Walk MS and the Multiple Sclerosis Society. So Callahan's Crowns for the Cure is all about neurological illnesses and disorders.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
It is. Yeah, that's awesome. It's another way of leadership, right? It's another way of awareness,
Thank
if
you.
anything. You know?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
But I say that because starting at 5, right, you now have 12 years experience at leadership when you think about it, right? It's kind of crazy. Looking back at your 5-year-old self, what advice would you give yourself going through this?
It would definitely be don't give up and don't go with the crowd.
Mm.
You know, a lot of people choose to be, we're talking about leadership, a lot of people choose to be followers, not leaders. But I think true leaders, they kind of have to step out and do their own thing sometimes and just go for it. So
You have to, as a leader, you have to create the path, not follow it.
absolutely.
You know, and that's hard to come through. It's hard to really. It takes someone with that leadership mentality to be like, hey, there's not a path here, but I'm going to make it.
Exactly.
And you know, I'm gonna lead by example. And that's the hardest thing for anybody to do, is to lead by example, especially when there's peer pressure, when there's other people doing other things that seem to be the right thing to do, or may seem to be the right thing to do. To be that person that says, I don't think so. You know, this is how we need to do this thing.
Truly.
And let me help you get there. You don't, as a leader, you don't take on the responsibility of being, you have to do this. As a leader, you're saying, hey, let me show you a way to do this and come along with me. And I think that with everything you've done, from the sign to the Kentucky team, to the American Heart Association, to, we could go on, you know, and keep going on, since you were 5, right? On how you've made that path, and that you're sticking to it. So huge congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I was trying to think if there was, besides like giving yourself advice and looking back on it, is there anything you would have changed differently? And it's okay to say no. Like, it's there. You could have been like, I think I did everything the way I think it was meant to do. You know.
Truly, I think that everything has gone exactly to the way it was supposed to. I'm a big believer in God's plan, and
Amen.
I think that that's just exactly where my life has gone. If I had any advice, it would have been that I would have started getting my pilot's license earlier, because now I am so busy. It is so hard to find time to fly, but that's probably the only thing.
I didn't know this, so it's a surprise to me. So you're studying for your pilot's license. I've got that book at home. I've got the aeronautical knowledge test. This thing is an encyclopedia of
It
how to
really
operate a plane.
is.
It is a lot of information. Right?
Definitely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, so do you have hours behind, or do you have, how many hours do you have?
Right now, I really don't even know.
Yeah.
Isn't that bad?
No,
it's been that long since I've flown.
So you've actually flown, though. You've actually, that's incredible.
Thank you.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that at all. You learn something new every day, right? So a pilot, to add that to the list, right? My goodness. Okay, so you're going to be flying all over the place.
Definitely.
You know, and saving hearts and doing pageants, and my goodness, it's congratulations to you.
Thank you.
It's completely congratulations. I was hoping that was going to be our special guest that was calling, but it's not. So we may have to do a second part on that.
Perfect.
And I tell everybody that comes on here, we're probably going to do a second part to every episode, and we'll follow up with how things went.
That's awesome.
Again, one piece of final advice you'd like to give to anybody listening, or a plug. You want to plug in the American Heart Association, what you're doing?
Oh, I've got it. Okay. My one piece of advice, and this is specifically for this month, is to go out today and learn hands-only CPR. It's not difficult. The American Heart Association has online courses, but if you know hands-only CPR, you are able to double or triple a person's chance of survival with an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it really better the chances that much?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense, though. That's amazing.
It really is.
Listen, I appreciate you so much for coming by.
Thank you so much.
We got to do this again. I want to do a second
Definitely.
part like we promised everybody else. And again, if there's anything that we can do to help along the way, please let our team know.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again.